I got trapped in your eyes the moment you looked at me. From across the room, those eyes kept following me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's video. I'm gonna do a bridal look. I got married almost a year ago in June, and I did my own makeup for my wedding. So for any of you brides that you know, you like to do your own makeup, or you don't have the money to pay somebody to do your makeup, I want to help you, you know, be able to recreate this look. And it's super soft and pretty. So let's get started. First, I'm just gonna moisturize the lips and just using plain old chapstick. And then I want to have the face always just like really fresh and dewy, plump, and healthy looking. So of course that kind of goes back into your skincare regimen as well. I already did my skincare, but I use, my favorite moisturizer is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I don't know what's in it. It's magic. It's expensive, but I love it. It just makes my skin feel really fresh and plump and lively. So that's definitely my favorite moisturizer. And then I use the MAC Fast Response Eye Cream. It has caffeine in it, so it's amazing to really wake up the eyes. And sometimes I even like put a little bit in with the moisturizer when I'm doing my clients, to kind of get that caffeine all over their face and just, you know, wake it up. So that's like a little bit of what I do before. And then after, once the moisturizer has set in for a little bit, I'm gonna go in with the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime Spray. I said this in my video the other day. This is a prep and prime product, so it's not only just used to set the makeup after, but it's amazing to set the face and kind of add a little bit of moisture, and that glycerin holds on to the makeup to last longer as well. So with that being said, let's spritz the face. I'm gonna do my brows first, just so that way we could have a clean surface. We played with glitter at my work the other day, and we put glitter in my hair, and that was like 5 days ago, and it's still not coming out. All right, so I'm gonna take the spoolie side, comb the brows up and out, and then just a little twist up side. And I'm not gonna start in the front, but almost just like right here, and I'm just building it with backward strokes, and I work my way toward the front, and then I go up and out. I'm gonna start building the arch, and then for the arch, I'm just kind of filling that in right there. And then I just kind of connect the top of the brow, or the top of the arch, and then to the bottom of the arch, and then connect them and pull it out. Comb it all different ways just to really push the product through the brows. And then toward the front, I'm gonna go back, and then I'm just gonna go like upwards like this, just little motions to kind of put in those fake looking hairs. I have like a bald spot in this brow for some reason. I don't know what happened, but apparently I plucked it a little too much. Okay, that's pretty good for me, considering what I have starting with. these are the brows. I'm gonna go in with concealer and clean up the bottom. Sometimes I'll clean up the top, but not really a whole lot. I'll kind of just use the excess on the brush just to kind of, you know, fine tune anything. Mostly I focus on the tail, getting it nice and clean, and then underneath. So the brush that is my absolute favorite brush is the MAC 212. If you guys can kind of see it, I don't know. It's really, really flat and defined. It's just super sleek, and it's just nice to work underneath the brow. So I just dip a little bit into the matte concealer, and I'm just gonna lay it against the brow underneath and just kind of drag it in little strokes. Going upward, I start toward the front and I work the way back. Next, to set them is my favorite brow gel, the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. And I'm just gonna go in and comb. I comb the front brow, or the hairs in the front going up, and then I kind of just follow it. Of course, like going back, and then drag them down so they all go down into the tail of the brow. Okay, so now that we have the brows done, I'm going to go in with MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This is just the light yellowy beige skin tone one. I prefer this one a lot more than Painterly. Painterly is a lot of, you know, a favorite for most people, but I kind of feel like not everyone knew about Soft Ochre because Painterly was just it. But Painterly is so like pinky grayish to me that it doesn't complement, you know, it doesn't look good on my skin tone. I have a lot more golden and yellow. So for somebody that maybe has more pinky to their skin, it looks better, but Soft Ochre is my favorite. And I'm just gonna take it on a MAC 242 brush, just a really flat little packing brush, and just all over the lid. This you can drag out as far as you want. It doesn't matter, just as long as everything is covered. And then I kind of take it up to where the concealer is just to meet that. And yeah, you can be messy with this. I'm gonna pull it really far out, just like I said with the brow concealer. We're gonna be cleaning it up when we do the wing anyways, so you don't have to be too precise about it. And it's really great to go in with this too before your eyeshadow, because not only is it an eyeshadow primer, so your shadow is gonna blend like flawlessly over top of it, but what I tell my clients a lot too is, you know, all the veins and, you know, little discolorations that we have in our eyelids, this just kind of wipes all that away. So whether you go in with a paint pot or you go in with concealer, as long as there's something just to kind of smooth over those eyelids, it'll make a huge difference compared to just going in with eyeshadow by itself over top. You're gonna see a lot more pigmentation from the shadow, and it's just everything will blend a lot more flawlessly. Starting off the eyes, this is the MAC Patrick Star first collaboration. This is a gorgeous palette for especially bridal, actually. There's a lot of things you can do with these colors. This is the Goal Getter palette. So you have a lot of like warm browns. This is a little bit of a dark brown for more smoky, and of course a gold for those brides that like gold instead of silver. Oh, okay. And then, so for the crease and like the transition color, I'm gonna be taking this one right here. It's called Soft Brown. Just a nice universal warm tan color. And I'm going to be taking this on a fluffy Morphe M433. What else is new? Because that's my favorite. And I'm kind of just gonna lay it right in like that little, just that crease right there. When you open up your eye and you feel that hollow, that's kind of where I'm gonna start. And I'm gonna focus on most of the product being on the outer V of the eye and then pushing it in with whatever's left over to the inner part of the eye. And I'm gonna keep it just super, super low. And you can drag it out past the brow. Just like that. And kind of go in a little more. And kind of just buffer it around. Circle it around over the lid. And just getting really into that, building that crease up. And then you can kind of flick it out backwards toward the eyebrow. And then if you just take a clean, fluffy brush and blend the edges in circles up and around. One more time, kind of building up the crease. And then going and blending. Take this one, this is called Swiss Chocolate. It's a little bit deeper than the first color we used, and it has a little bit more of an orangey tone to it. And that one, I'm just gonna go in with the same brush, and I'm just gonna pack that on the outer corner. Just keeping that one really low and focusing more on the lid and that lower crease. So now for the lid, I just used the Anastasia Amrezy gold highlight. This isn't like super, super gold. It's more like champagne-y gold. So I thought that would be really pretty. And plus it'll complement because I'm going to be using this on the face as our highlight. So why not use, you know, a product like a 2-in-1 and just make it easier on yourself. So this is the same brush that we used for the paint pot, the MAC 242 flat definer brush. I cleaned it off a little bit. I'm gonna go in with the Fix Plus, give the brush a little spritz, just so that way this highlighter, I've never used it as an eyeshadow before, but just so it has like an extra pop. And this is just gonna go on the lid. Just kind of focusing it still in the crease area. Don't take it up super, super high. And just kind of packing it on. And I'm only going to take this about kind of right underneath the arch of the brow, and then we'll go back in and focus on kind of making it an ombre out into the dark brown. I'm gonna go back in with the same brush we used for the eyes. I kind of just dipped it in both of these colors, and I'm just gonna pack it on the gold and just push it in all the different directions. And then whatever is left on the brush, you can kind of go in really, really lightly and smooth out any harsh lines from the lid. This is a Too Faced highlight, but it's just a lighter color. So if you just take a really lighter shade, so that way there's a little bit of a difference and more of a dimension with the brow and the lid. And just on like a flat brush, I'm kind of just gonna take the product and smooth it up against the brow. I'm gonna go in for the wing. I am on myself, I'm gonna be using the NYX Liquid Matte Eyeliner. On clients, my most favorite is the MAC Black Track Paint Pot. It's super easy to glide on. I just don't like using it on myself. Just pulling backwards. Just building that up, and then toward the front, I go forward and then pull it backwards. And the reason is because there's less product after you've already started, and I don't want a whole lot of product to be used on the eye toward the front. So I'm kind of just going in with the excess. Until you kind of have a full line, and you want it to be a little bit thinner up here, get a little bit thicker as it goes out toward the edge of the eye. And then for the wing, a little guide is to use your lower lash line and how it goes, you know, it curves up. So going toward the tail of your eyebrow, you kind of want to just use that as a guide. So a lot of times I'll just stamp like a little line just like that, and then I can follow it. And then connect it. So right now it's a little bit thick for how I would normally like it, but kind of just smooth out everything, and then if you take it up and wing it out, and just have a really loose hand to kind of flick it out so you get that sharpness. So that's not too bad. I'm definitely going to take a makeup wipe and kind of sharpen up the edge, but it's a good start. So we're gonna clean up now with the makeup wipes from MAC. These are the gently off ones. They're the new ones in the pink packaging. They're so much better than the original. I'm gonna take the wipe around my finger and kind of just, if there's any fallout on the cheeks, and then once it comes to the wing, I'm just gonna line my finger up right next to the wing and then drag it up past the eyebrow. Same thing. Yeah, we'll do mascara. Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara is my favorite. This also comes in waterproof, which is more ideal for a wedding day. So just coat the lashes. I'm gonna be using fake lashes, so it doesn't have to be like a whole lot on there. Just something to kind of blend them in with the falsies. These are the Queen Bee lashes from Coco. They're just a really wispy lash. Some other great options are the MAC 48s or 36s. They kind of have a small to longer like cat eye, so they complement with the wing liner really, really nicely. But I'm just gonna take the ones that I have. And I'm gonna lean in too. So I'm just gonna apply, like sit them right on top when I close, and then a good little trick if you need to like tighten them up are some tweezers. That way you can like pinch them against your lashes and it'll make it feel a lot more natural. So I'm gonna just take the ends and kind of push it down since my fingers are too fat, and just tighten it up. And then I'm gonna take the tweezers and kind of just tighten up the fake, like the lash band to my lashes. So this is one eye, and it makes a really big difference with lashes. And even, oh, the Ardell lashes, the wispies, those are pretty good too. Those are really inexpensive. This side is like always the hardest for me. And then if you have any glue residue that's showing through, you can always take your black eyeliner and go over that lash band just so it's super, super dark. Mine doesn't look too bad right now, but when it dries, I might go back over it. But if you want it really, really black and crisp, or if you're using the blue and white duo, that one tends to show a little bit more because it's white, so when it dries clear, it's not really clear. So I usually go back over with whatever product you were using and just deepen it up. All right, we're almost there. The hardest part is done, I feel like. The eyes always take the longest. Now that the skin has kind of settled, moisturizer's really in there, we can start the foundation. This is my all-time favorite foundation for special events. If you want full coverage, long lasting, this is the MAC Nourishing Pro Waterproof, or sorry, Nourishing Pro Longwear Waterproof Foundation. It's sweat proof and waterproof. I wore this on my wedding day. Obviously, your girl was bawling. I have some really ugly pictures to show that. But this did not move at all. I didn't even touch up my makeup actually once through my wedding day, and this stuff is the best. You can even wear it on like a daily basis if you're, you know, a full coverage queen, but it's so good. I'm taking it on a Morphe sponge, or if you have a beauty blender, whatever your preference is. I'll just show you guys another option if you don't want to use a sponge. This is the MAC 130 brush. It's a duo fiber, small little foundation brush. This is really good too. So I'll show you guys how I can use this one. This works amazing too. So I'm just gonna tap on a little bit more foundation over those. Let that sit for a second, and then I'm gonna go in and kind of buff this around the eyebrows. I like to use a brush when I'm going around the eyebrows anyways, just because sometimes the sponges are too big and bulky, and the brush can kind of like get around there and do what you need to do. And this brush is not streaky. I love working with smaller brushes for foundation. Just because they can, I feel like they get more coverage and a lot more flawless finish. And I'm just gonna tap that around and then take it with the beauty blender and tap it out. The Tarte Shape Tape, such a good concealer, so worth the money. I think I bought my first one like a week or so before my wedding, and I just had to replace it like a month ago. So, and I wear it every day. So a full bottle lasted me like 8 or 9 months, which is really, really good. And like, it's a really good product too. Okay, so just taking my sponge under the eye, and then I'll kind of go up against the wing just to kind of sharpen that a little bit more. And then to set the under eye, the LA Girl Pro Powder, of course, in the banana yellow. Just go ahead and dip your sponge into the powder and tap it underneath the eye. I will never stop raving about this powder. Like, for $5, it does some like amazing things. You can bake with it, you can set under the eye if you want it all over the face as your setting powder. Gosh, I always get stuff in my eye. And to set the face just a little bit in case, you know, any oils, just the MAC Studio Fix and a fluffy brush to kind of go around and just make it flawless. This is just another fluffy brush. The MAC Give Me Sun is my go-to for a lot of my clients, just to bronze in the hollows of the cheeks. I'm not really gonna do any forehead or like, you know, bronzing up here. I'm just gonna focus it on the cheeks and then maybe a little bit under the chin. The prettiest blush for brides is Warm Soul from MAC. It's a mineralized blush, so it has a little bit of shimmer in it. The mineralized looks beautiful on the skin, kind of blurs out. It's also like the perfect shade of peach and pinky, so it, you know, it doesn't go like too pink, which sometimes can make the cheeks look like too flushed. And then if it's too peachy or orangey, it's like too bronzy looking. So you just want to like a little bit of a fresh face and a fluffy brush. This is a BH Cosmetics #1 brush. And just on the apples of the cheeks. For the highlight, you guys already know I'm taking the Anastasia one that we used on our eyelids. This is a Morphe M501, and I'm gonna do like circular motions, just kind of blending it in on the cheekbones. I feel like doing circular motions rather than back and forth. It just kind of gets, it pushes it into the skin for a really pretty, like smooth surface. And if you kind of go like right in this area when like you smile, it has a really pretty, it just, the lighting picks up really well right there, for pictures especially. And a little bit on the nose and Cupid's bow. And chin. Okay, back into the palette. I'm going to dip in with the fluffy brush just on the first shade that we used for transition, and just kind of back and forth underneath the eye.
Those eyes kept following me. Something popped in my brain. No, baby, only you. I got trapped. Feels like I'm going insane. I know from across.
This is the color Yayo from Urban Decay, just a white liner. And I like using white or nude just to bring a little bit of brightness to the eye, and it kind of, it's not like a really important step, but I feel like it makes a really big difference. And then back to the mascara for coating those lower lashes. And then with the same highlight that we used on the brow, just going to dip my finger in a little bit and pop it on the inner corner. Just to bring a little bit of light right in there. This is the lip pencil Oak from MAC, and it's just like a light brown nude. The next step is the MAC Lip Tensity lipstick. This is the shade Clouds in My Coffee. It's a really similar color to the oak liner that we use, just a little bit lighter, so there's a little bit of a dimension. If you have not used a lip tensity from MAC, I really recommend it. It's a long-lasting, hydrating, full pigment. I highly recommend this. So the last step for lips, you guys, is this gloss. This is the Kylie Cosmetics Cocoa Collection Gloss in the shade Dangina. This color is gorgeous. It's a little bit pinky brown, and it has a little bit of sparkle to it, but I love the Kylie glosses because they last a really long time. They're not super sticky, but yet you get the really good shine out of them. And the wand is so cute too. It's just like a little brush, so you get a lot of product on there. And mostly focusing on the center of the lips. Final step, MAC Fix Plus. Set the makeup and you're good to go. I hope you're liking my channel so far. As always, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. I'm at Carissa Lee Beauty. I love suggestions, so give me some, you know, what do you guys want to see? And yeah, thank you for supporting my channel and watching, subscribing, and of course following me on social media. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
You're moving closer, no time.